don't care about John Nogowski. You don't care about John Nogowski. I'm not sure that the Pirates themselves would care all that much about John Nogowski, but I'm going to give you one tiny bit of background here that might make you care at least a little about what he's done so far at PNC Park. Good morning to you. Good Thursday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. Comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I offer up daily shots of Steelers and Penguins as well. The Pirates got obliterated yesterday at PNC Park, 14-3. I had to wait until they added up the final score. It took that long. I was over there for all 5 hours and 26 glorious minutes of it. And I came away with almost no impressions at all, except for Nogowski going 4 for 5, and then pitching, a 1-2-3 ninth inning that was capped by really slick double play that he began himself on the mound. No, I'm not going to be an idiot and begin telling you that a 28-year-old minor league reclamation project is going to have any kind of impact on the future of this franchise. He was acquired because Colin Moran got hurt, because other options have fizzled, and Ben Cherington and his staff were looking for someone to just, save face, to try to avoid the embarrassments like what I covered out in Denver, where you just put a lineup out there that just can't hit, that can't compete, that's overmatched, which is the worst case scenario you can have at the big league level in any sport. That's all well and good. And what Nogowski has done, he's now 7 for 12 with 2 walks since coming to Pittsburgh. And that's not going to hold up. That's not realistic, to say the least. He was in the minor leagues for a reason. Yes, he had a terrific spring training for the Cardinals. Yes, Mike Schilt pulled the plug on him too soon, as people in St. Louis will tell you. He barely gave him any at-bats. Most of them were pinch hit roles in which he's coming in and facing guys throwing 100 from the right side. But again, he's not it in this equation. Let me tell you what is it. I met with Ben Cherington yesterday at the ballpark. And Cherington's one of those people who, no matter how busy he is, he never looks busy. He finds a way to look calm and relaxed, and at the same time will engage you, look you right in the eye, have a good conversation with you, and it won't occur to you that this guy is at once overseeing the major league team, all of the minor league affiliates, all the way down to Dominican Summer Ball, the Major League Baseball draft, which is this weekend, with his team holding the number 1 overall pick, the trade deadline coming up later this same month, and every other thing that goes with being a GM. And this I can twin with watching Nogowski and share with you that when the Pirates acquired Nogowski, Cherington, without overstating the scope of this acquisition, said that his scouts had watched Nogowski in the minors, and they had liked the trajectory of where his swing was headed. That's the way it was worded. And I remember at the time hearing that thinking, wait, you're studying what right now? Like, who cares? Who cares whose swing is on the right trajectory in somebody else's AAA affiliate inside your division? Who cares? Well, somebody must have. Somebody must have. And for this GM and for whoever it was on his staff, and by the way, an executive will never give up names on this unless it's an extraordinary situation. Like, remember John Holtzcomb, the Australian pitcher that the Pirates really did a fabulous job of finding basically out of independent ball, and he ended up being a contributor to the 2015 team that qualified for the playoffs. In that case, Neil Huntington said, hey, this is a great story. This guy's been scouting for 100 years. Go give him his due. Most often, GMs won't do that. Cherington and his scout and his staff somehow had the manpower, the thought process, and the energy to come up with this AAA acquisition for first base while all this other infinitely more important stuff was going on. Oh, and you know what else? They got it right. They got it right. Look, Nogowski could stink from here onward. The reason he was acquired was to try to cover some of the damage that's done by Moran being out. And for no other reason. And he looks like he's going to be pretty capable of doing exactly that. So I'm here right now to pay tribute to whoever that scout was, or whichever scouts, plural, although I really can't imagine the Pirates would have multiple scouts on the Cardinals' AAA affiliate, or whichever analytics people were involved. I don't mean to just go old school here. Someone might have seen certain patterns, certain things with his launch angle, exit velocity, whatever else here, and they might have just studied him from afar. I definitely shouldn't omit that. But to pull that off and then to have this GM have the presence of mind and awareness instead of just saying, look, dude, can you just get out of my office? I really don't care about this Nogowski dude in AAA. Please just go away. No, he went to a division rival. I understand that's not as big a deal whenever you're 21 games under 500. But went to a division rival and said, hey, we like this guy and we could really use a hand here, and maybe someday we'll extend you a similar courtesy when you have no first baseman left and no offense left, and we're not a threat to you in the division. All of that these are the little things that I look for when trying to gauge the kind of job that's being done by a front office. The easy stuff is, hey, great first round pick, or ooh, terrible trade, or whatever. I look for stuff like this. This GM just continues to impress me, both in deed and word. When we come back, just one question. Back, it's time for Just One Question, and that's always brought to you on this program by our friends at North Shore Tavern. That's directly across Federal Street from PNC Park. North Shore Tavern is home to Steak on a Stone. North Shore Tavern is the planet's only fully dedicated year-round Pirates sports bar. And oh, by the way, North Shore Tavern is also where we're going to be getting together on July 15 for our 7th anniversary bash of DK Pittsburgh Sports. Everyone's invited. Everyone's invited. Come on down, say hello, meet everyone on our DK Pittsburgh Sports staff, talk sports, talk shop, complain about this or that, tech-wise, whatever it is. We're happy to have you there. Come on down to North Shore Tavern right across Federal Street from PNC Park. Today's question comes from Nick, who asks, how many trades will the club make by the deadline? How surprised will you be if it's 0? I won't just be surprised, Nick. I'll be disappointed. And I'm sure that won't be universal. I'm sure there'll be people who say, oh, whew, wow, we kept Adam Frazier. Wow, we kept Richard Rodriguez. All right, cool. Now we're going to be closer to winning. The reason that you go into a spring training with Frazier and Rodriguez, and even to a lesser extent, though he was a new acquisition, Tyler Anderson, on your roster, is that you are hoping that they catch lightning. You are hoping that they do better than they ever had at any point in their careers. Frazier has done that. He's always had this in him, but never with this kind of consistency. He's really put everything together. Rich Rod, a little different. He's a late bloomer, arrived in the majors a little bit older, had to go through some confidence issues along the way that Clint Hurdle and others were really able to help him through, as he told me himself. And Anderson's just a left-handed starter who can still get people out. And he's been largely good at that. This is exactly what you want. And the reason that you want it is to get the most possible assets at this stage. The easy response to this is, oh, here they go. When is it going to stop? I just started liking this guy and he's gone too. And that's going to be what you hear more than anything else. But they've got to go, Nick. It's not all three. In fact, I'll be surprised if he pulls off all three, because he'd have to be impressed by the returns for all three. But I'll be both surprised and disappointed if it isn't one for sure, but ideally two. Especially Anderson being in the last year of his contract, and the Pirates having other pitchers available, not to replace him, not to be as good as him, but guys who need some innings, like, for example, Miguel Yajure. Once he gets healthy in Indianapolis, he can come up and make up for a lot of lost time. Really, really, really good pitcher who you're really going to like watching. Rodriguez is going to have his spot taken in all likelihood by David Bednar, and that really became clearer than ever yesterday with how Kyle Crick pitched. And then there's Frazier. Frazier's the one that, to me, is the hardest to discuss and debate in this context, because he's been one of the best hitters in the majors. And when you let go of a guy like that for two uncertainties, it's always going to feel like a rotten trade. Because what you're thinking is, well, whoever you're getting back isn't going to be one of the best anythings in the major leagues. So why give this guy up? And some of that goes with time alignment and wanting to make sure that you're matching ages and you're not holding on to Frazier for a decline in his own career. You want to make sure that you're selling at a peak, and that can be painful. So I will say, yet again, I am not trading Adam Frazier unless I get a top 100 prospect in return, as well as a bonus arm. That's how this has to go. If you're a team out there, if you're a contender, and you need a second baseman, or whatever, any of the positions that Frazier can play, he could also go to your corner outfield. If you're a contender, and you're playing in a season where no one anywhere is able to hit the ball except for a couple of guys in Pittsburgh, then you want one of those guys in Pittsburgh. And you'd better be ready to pay up to pull it off. My goodness, it's going to be a fascinating month. I appreciate the question, Nick. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. We'll do it again tomorrow. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. Please subscribe to our DK Pittsburgh Sports channel, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notified every time we post a new video or podcast.